All right, y'all. In this lesson, we are moving away from multiplying multi-digit numbers, and now we're focusing on dividing multi-digit whole numbers. Make sure that whether you have printed it off or if you are doing it on the computer, that you are on the one that says guided practice, that while you are working it with me. You will have an independent practice to do, obviously independently by yourself, but make sure you're doing the guided practice with me. Oh, did not mean to do that. Before we get into the lesson, there are a few words I want us to remember when it comes to dividing. So one word is divisor, and the divisor is the number that we are dividing by. And I'll get into depth with that. So the divisor is the number we're dividing by. The other word is dividend, and that is the number we are dividing. So that's the number we're cutting apart. And then the last word is quotient, and quotient is the answer to a division problem. And I will be using those terms a lot today with this lesson, just so y'all can have like an idea of what it is. Y'all should have learned these in the past, but I know quarantine messed up our brains a little bit. So I'll be just using them a lot during this lesson, especially because, like how I said in the last video or the last lesson, you don't know whenever you're gonna have a test and they'll ask you like, what is the divisor in this problem? Or what is the quotient of 12 and 8? Something like that. So you wanna make sure you understand this terminology, not only just for this lesson right now, but also in the future. All right, let's get started. I would also like to apologize if I didn't fix it, because I'm going to fix it hopefully. That big empty space in the last video on that side, I'd like to apologize for that. Okay, moving on. All right, instructions. Complete each slide by solving the problems with the standard algorithm. Fill in the boxes with the correct number to solve. Use the steps to solving to help you. This is just like how we did with the multiplying one. It's the same type of setup. The only difference is we're not multiplying, we're dividing. Before I do move on to the actual work, if you, again, are doing this on the computer, I suggest getting a clean sheet of paper and a pencil right now, because you will probably have to do some scratch work with this. And you can't really do it if you're using the computer. So get out a clean sheet of paper and a pencil, pause the video, and then get started. All right, our first one, so the first one we're focusing on is a 2-digit number divided by a 1-digit number. So we have here we have 5 steps. Well, there may be more. We have 5 steps, but they will be repeated. So we're going to focus on this problem right now. So step number 1 says divide. How many times will the divisor go into the dividend? So we have 4 and 92. 4, I'm going to write this down. 4 is our divisor. 92 is our dividend. And then this up here will be our quotient. Okay? So again, divisor, dividend, quotient. All right. Now, you should have either learned this or was at least introduced to this in 5th grade. If not, here we are. So we have 4. We want to know how many times 4 can go into 92. But we can't just go straight into the huge number of 92. We want to go place value by place value. So I want to know how many times 4 can go into 9. Now, luckily for us, this one's pretty easy. What number can I multiply 4 by that's going to get me close to 9, but not over it? If you're saying 2, you were right. 2 will get us like right underneath 9. The thing with dividing is we don't want to have enough, we don't want to get a number that's going to get us larger than the number we're trying to go into. So we want to get a little bit underneath the number on the inside. So now step 2 says multiply. You multiply your answer from step 1 and your divisor. So we're going to do 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. Step 3 says subtract. 9 minus 8 is 1. All right, now, step number 4 is very important, just like the step number 4 in multiplying. If you don't do this, your answer can be wrong, okay? So step number 4 is we need to bring down whatever number is next, if there is a number that's next to it, and we do have one. So we're going to bring down this 2. And then we repeat steps 1 through 4. So now we want to divide 12 by 4. We want to see how many times 4 can go into 12. Luckily for us, 4 is a factor of 12. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. So I'm going to put 3 at the top. 3 times 4, because the next step is to multiply, is 12. I should put a box right here. On yours, you will have a box. And then now, step 3 says to subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0, and 1 minus 1 is 0. Now, do I have any numbers to bring down now? I don't, so I'm done solving for the problem. Now, if you see up here, I was just prepared just in case there was going to be a remainder. If you do not have a remainder, so that means there's no numbers left over, you can leave it blank. Or if you want, you can just put 0. So our answer for 92 divided by 4 is 23 remainder 0. Yeah, that's it. All right, now we're going to do 79 divided by 9. And if you're noticing, I'm saying what's in the inside divided by what's on the outside. Whatever's in the inside, that's the number we're trying to split apart evenly. That's the number we're trying to, well, subtract. I mean, not subtract, divide. So now remember, 9 is our divisor. 79 is our dividend. And whatever is going to go up here is our quotient. All right, so now let's solve. So we want to know how many times 9 can go into 79. We're going to take it number by number. Can 9 go into 7 evenly? Is there a number I can multiply 9 by and get me close to 7? If you're saying no, you're right. 9 can't go into 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually skip this place value and move straight on to 79. Okay? So now I want to know how many times, okay, how many times can 9 go into 79? Now, I don't know this at the top of my head, so this is where the scratch paper comes into play. I'm going to use this down here as my scratch paper. I have told kids in the past, when it comes to dividing and you don't know, a number that you can multiply by 9 to get close to this, just start multiplying random numbers. Now, I like for us to always start with a middle number, so we can just figure out if we need to go up a little bit or down a little bit. So the middle number will always be 5. So if you don't know what you can multiply by to get near 79, always multiply by 5. So I'm going to go down here. I know 9 times 5 is 45. Now, 45 is less than 79. So I know that I need to go higher. I don't need to go lower. So I could probably multiply by 6, but I want to get as close to 79 as I can. 45 isn't that close right now, so I'm just going to multiply by a random number higher than 5, and I'm going to choose 8. 9 times 8 is 72. 72 is closer to 79 than 45 was, so that could work. But I always rather be safe than sorry, so I'm going to go up one more time to see if I can get any closer to 79. So I'm going to do 9 times 9, and that gives me 81. 81 won't work though because 81's higher than 79. So that's a no-go for me. So the closest that we can be is 72. So the number that's going to go in our quotient is going to be the number 8. I'll circle this right here because that's what we used. And then now, so I divided, so now I'm going to multiply. 8 times 9, I already did it down here, is 72. And then now I need to subtract. 9 minus 2 is 7. And 7 minus 7 is 0. Now step 4 says bring down. Do I have any other digits that I need to bring down? No, I don't, so I'm done solving the problem. But we can't leave that 7 down there at the bottom by itself. If it was 2 zeros, that would be fine. But since we have that 7, I need to bring the 7 up here for my remainder. So our answer for 79 divided by 9 is 8 remainder 7. Circle this one too. Okay? Now we're going to move on to 6 times 59.